Impeachment Article 5, Defying court orders and usurping judicial authority in his conduct of the office of President, prepared by Free Speech for People. Defying court orders and usurping judicial authority in his conduct of the office of President of the United States, Donald John Trump, in violation of his constitutional oath faithfully to execute the office of President of the United States and, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and in violation of his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed, has engaged in a corrupt course of conduct that demonstrates his unfitness to serve as President of the United States, in that Donald John Trump, using the powers of his high office, engaged personally and through his close subordinates and agents in a course of conduct or plan designed to undermine and usurp the authority and powers vested in the judiciary by Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution. The means used to implement this course of conduct or plan included the following, carried out in coordination with or via his close subordinates. 1. He refused to comply with multiple court orders, including from the United States Supreme Court, to facilitate the return of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia back to the United States from El Salvador, despite the fact that he orchestrated Mr. Abrego Garcia's arrest and removal to El Salvador in violation of a long-term withholding of removal court order, arranged for his imprisonment in a Salvadoran maximum security prison, and is paying El Salvador to imprison people, including Mr. Abrego Garcia, who have been removed from the United States. 2. He refused to comply with multiple court orders to suspend the foreign assistance funding freeze and release $2 billion in funding to foreign aid projects. 3. He refused to wholly or promptly comply with multiple court orders to suspend all categorical pauses or freezes to federal funding by the Office of Management and Budget and resume disbursement of appropriated federal funds. 4. He unlawfully removed 261 Venezuelan immigrants to El Salvador for immediate imprisonment, in open defiance of aid U.S. Dept of State, v. AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition, 604 US___2025, AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition v. US Dept of State, Joint Status Report, Case Number 25 CV 400, filed March 14, 2025, AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition v. US Department of State, Joint Status Report, Case Number 25 CV 400, filed March 6, 2025. New York vs. Trump, Order, Case Number 25 CV 39, February 10, 2025, National Council of Nonprofits vs. Office of Management Budget, Memorandum Opinion, Case Number 25-239, February 25, 2025. A court order 10 and demanding the judge's impeachment solely because Trump disagrees with the judge's ruling. 5. He abruptly and unlawfully removed Dr. Rasha Alawi, a kidney transplant specialist and Brown University Medical School professor with a valid work visa to be in the United States, either in defiance of a court order blocking her deportation or in disregard of the court proceedings and knowledge of an imminent court order. 6. In an effort to undermine the courts and intimidate judges, he repeatedly asserted that the administration is not bound by court orders and demanded the impeachment and removal of judges that ruled against him and officials within his administration, even as these judges face ongoing and increasing threats of violence. Luke Broadwater et al., a judge ordered deportation planes to turn around. The White House didn't listen. New York Times, March 17, 2025, Alan Feuer. Trump administration pushes back against judges' orders on deportations. New York Times, March 18, 2025, Allison Main et al. Trump administration deports hundreds of alleged gang members to El Salvador despite court rulings. CNN, March
17. 2025 JGG.
Trump, Memorandum of Law in support of plaintiff's motion for temporary restraining order, case number 25-76, March 15, 2025. Dana Goldstein, Brown University professor, is deported despite a judge's order.
NY.
Times, March 16, 2025, with impeachment, bombs for ruling against Trump agenda, March 14, 2025, with Trump personally calling one judge a troublemaker, an agitator, and falsely identifying as crooked those judges he is forced to appear before. The judiciary is afforded power, in relevant part, over all cases, in law and equity, arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made and to controversies to which the United States shall be a party. US Constitution. Article 3, Section 2. Refusing to adhere to court orders, intimidating of judges, and recklessly calling for the impeachment and removal of judges who disagree with him demonstrate a willingness by Trump to usurp authority afforded by our Constitution to the judiciary and demonstrate a disregard for the Constitution and the careful balance of powers that protects our country from abuses by any single branch. In all of this, Donald John Trump has acted in a manner contrary to his trust as president and subversive of statement from Attorney General Pamela Bondi on federal judge blocking deportations, March 15, 2025, Nicholas Riccardi. Trump administration ramps up rhetoric targeting the courts amid mounting legal setbacks, AP News, March 16, 2025, Reuters. U.S. judges alarmed over rise in violent threats as Trump and Musk lambast them. The Guardian, March 6, 2025, constitutional government, to the great prejudice of the cause of law and justice and to the manifest injury of the people of the United States. Wherefore Donald John Trump, by such conduct, warrants impeachment and trial, and removal from office.
Article 5, dealing with ignoring court orders, is extremely important, and Trump should be removed from them, so people should support the Impeach Trump Again movement and get this information out there. But it's also needed to be told to members of Congress and the Senate and anywhere that have any concerns about this. No, these are natural consequences of a person who was a convicted felon and heavily indicted in all kinds of things being allowed to hold public office without challenge to the constitutional question that we continue to be in. Number one, can a convicted felon hold public office? We have never answered this question ever in American history because this is the first time we are here. But just because we are the first time here doesn't mean that you don't do anything, that you don't challenge or question the constitutionality. Because one of the inevitable things of a convicted felon, a person who is heavily indicted in multiple things, running for public office with the specific intent of avoiding justice, that person is not going to believe any judge, any court, anywhere, because it's all bullcrap. It couldn't impact him. So of course he's not going to respect the rules of judges because he avoided them. And he continues to avoid them because our court system and our political system refuses to answer the very simple question that is the core of creating honor in Washington. And that is the convicted felons are not able to hold public office. And this is not just my opinion. This is the opinion of the 2006 DOJ memo under Alberto Gonzalez, who agreed that, yeah, we haven't been here. But if we did, in their position back in 2006, if it did, it would be in violation of the impeachment clause of Article 2, Section 4, because they'd be high crimes. In addition, is free speech's positions about the 14th Amendment, Section 3. Yes, absolutely. The Colorado court said that he was in violation, that January 6th was in violation of the 14th Amendment, Section 3. This would not have meant that Trump couldn't have been president. It meant that Trump had to go back and get 2/3 of both houses to accept him into holding public office. They didn't do that. And what the Supreme Court said back then, in some cases, is right, because you can still run for office even though you are not qualified to hold the office. You're just not permitted to actually win. That's the same case in almost every state in the Union that has laws against convicted felons holding public office. You can run because you can petition government, and running is like petitioning government. Donald Trump needs to be removed from office. He needs to be removed from office and impeached, yes, for refusing to ignore judges, but why would he ever want to trust a judge when the honest truth is judges couldn't convict him and stop him from becoming president? So why should he fear them? The only way he is ever going to fear them is if judges finally state just the simple truth that Article 2, Section 4 of the United States Constitution specifically prohibits convicted felons from holding public office. It is a fundamental requirement written into the Constitution itself. Thank you.